2015, it was 4.5 million rupiah. Today it stands at 655 million rupiah, and it did go up to 830 million rupiah. What's going on with Bitcoin?
Well, it just seems that the institutional investors have finally been convinced that this is an asset class to own.
Tonight, Elon Musk makes one of his riskiest bets ever, linking Tesla's fortunes to Bitcoins. The world's richest man now investing $1.5 billion worth of his company's money in the cryptocurrency.
All the views and opinions expressed in this video are my own personal views and in no way represent the views or opinions of PinterPolitik.com. Apa khabar Indonesia? Apa khabar PinterPolitik.com? Today I'm speaking to Girish Bajaj. He is a world-renowned expert on blockchain, ecosystems and cryptocurrencies. I'm speaking with Girish Bajaj in Mumbai. Hi Girish, how are you there?
All good. How are you doing? How are things there in Jakarta?
Very good, very good. So there's a lot of interest now in Jakarta about cryptocurrency, and particularly everyone has noticed how Bitcoin has grown exponentially in value. So I was looking at some figures about it in the Indonesian currency. So in November 2015, it was 4.5 million rupiah. Today it stands at 655 million rupiah, and it did go up to 830 million rupiah. What's going on with Bitcoin?
Well, it just seems that the institutional investors have finally been convinced that this is an asset class to own. And in terms of wealth management for the UHNIs and the HNIs, there is a massive shift happening to allocate some part of their assets into Bitcoin. And there are a lot of the old traditional investors who always invested in gold in billions of dollars. I'm talking about UHNIs. I'm not talking about central banks here now. They have been selling their gold holdings, which could be $100 million to $1 billion, maybe more, and have actually converted that holdings from gold to Bitcoin. So if you see at a time in the charts about 6 months back, 1 year back, there has been drastic falls in gold, like by $50 to $100, $200. And then suddenly you see a spike in Bitcoin prices, because that is clearly showing that there is a massive shift of money going in from traditional assets like gold into Bitcoin.
Can I ask you one thing? Because gold, I'm told by many people that work in New York, etc., and Wall Street, and they say to me that gold's a bit of a rigged market. So that people are shorting gold, and is this true? It's not its real value. This is what I'm told.
I'm not going to say that, whether it's rigged or not. There has been a lot of proofs. Even the Libor has been manipulated. So I will not be surprised if gold has been. But in terms of what is rigged, what is manipulated, and for which asset or for which financial instrument, it's very difficult to say why. So in the future, people can say about Bitcoin, what is currently happening that is rigged from $10,000, it shoots up to $60,000 near there, and it's back to around 45. So, but now what is happening is that there's a maturity happening with the investors, the accredited investors, the institutional investors, and the UHNIs. That's the main reason we are seeing a massive shift of funds. That's the reason we just saw $1 trillion of market cap in Bitcoin, which is a lot more than even our Indian rupee supply in this country.
Did the investment by Elon Musk help this? Because Elon Musk put $1.5 billion into Bitcoin, didn't he, publicly?
Good evening. Tonight, Elon Musk makes one of his riskiest bets ever, linking Tesla's fortunes to Bitcoins. The world's richest man now investing $1.5 billion worth of his company's money in the cryptocurrency. Its price hit a record high on the news. One Bitcoin is now worth close to $43,000 US. It reached $44,000 earlier in the day. Musk's bet on Bitcoin doesn't stop there, though. Tesla says it will soon let customers buy its cars using Bitcoin.
True. So what is happening now is that the corporates who have surplus cash lying with the treasury and their basically liquid assets lying, which they invest in bonds, which has not been yielding too much, and at some countries it's basically negative. So what has happened is that even with the dollar decline, which we saw just a few months back, due to the printing of the money for basically bailing out the US economy due to the COVID issue, there has been a big fear that the dollar could collapse in the future.
Welcome to Trading Nation. I'm Seema Modi. One of the world's leading experts on Asia warns a dollar crash may be unfolding. He ties it to trade frictions and the coronavirus fallout. Yale professor Stephen Roach, the former chairman of Morgan Stanley Asia, joins me now on the CNBC Newsline. Professor, welcome to Trading Nation.
Thank you, Seema.
Why is it time to warn investors now about a potential dollar crash when you could argue it's been fading here for a couple of weeks now?
Well, look, I think the U.S. economy has been afflicted with some significant macro imbalances for a long time, namely a very low domestic savings rate and a chronic current account deficit. But these problems are going to go from bad to worse as we blow out the fiscal deficit in the years ahead. The national savings rate, adjusted for depreciation, is probably going to go deeper into negative territory than it's ever done for the United States or for any leading economy in economic history. And at the same time, America is walking away from globalization, focused more on decoupling itself from the rest of the world. I think that's a lethal combination. I think the dollar is going to do as a currency normally does, and that is provide the equilibrium between saving and international imbalances. And I think the dollar is going to fall very, very sharply.
Can I ask you, where do you see Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin, but the other cryptocurrencies going? I know there's Ethereum is a big one. I know you spoke with the founder of that. Litecoin, there's Polkadot, there's Zcash, there's so many of them. What do you see the future for these things? Where do you see Bitcoin price-wise being this time next year?
I am very bullish on the entire crypto space and the DeFi space. So today, currently, what is happening with Ethereum, Polkadot, Uniswap, these are plainly going more into decentralized finance areas. And the buying which is happening in Ethereum is basically, it's a common currency to convert Ethereum into the currency to the currency of Polkadot or Uniswap or the other DeFi currencies. So if you see it, it's about 25-30%, if I'm not mistaken. We are seeing that kind of Ethereum holdings with these DeFi platforms, and it's just a start. Today, currently, the DeFi platform is having assets about some $33 billion. This is after the collapse in terms of the basically the euphoria which was there. DeFi went down to some $12-13 billion, and it's back more than what it was the previous high of some 2022. It's about 33 now, which is going to continue. That's what blockchain does. It's basically so decentralized that the unbanked, the underbanked, the uninvested, the underinvested are getting an opportunity to invest their hard-earned money into good projects, get some return of 2%, 4%, maybe 8%, depending on the platform and the offering and the risk appetite of the investor. That it's not going to stop at all. I'm very bullish on Cardano. That's basically a blockchain mainly more for enterprise and governments. There has been a lot of talk of very, very influential investors who have sold their Bitcoin recently at the peak and converted into Polkadot and Cardano. Yeah. I feel this will continue a lot more, and the price appreciation to buy something at $20 or $5 or $1 and you're getting 10 times, 100 times in maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, is far more rewarding than buying Bitcoin today.
So today, where do you see it in a year? Bitcoin, Polkadot, the rise in the value will be what, do you think? Because it's been exponential so far, hasn't it?
Yes, but like I said, this is a major tectonic shift happening now, and I see it. I will not be surprised to see Bitcoin towards the end of this calendar year around $120,000. Wow. That's minimum I feel for surely, and I would expect a new high sometime in this month again. Maybe towards the end of third week onwards, we could see a new high.
So you're an expert. So all these cryptocurrencies are based upon blockchain, and a lot of people are very confused about blockchain. They just don't understand it, which is why they don't dabble in the cryptocurrencies, because they don't understand blockchain. And I know you're an absolute expert on blockchain, so please explain so us dummies can understand, how does blockchain work and why is it more secure than traditional financial transactions?
Modern technology allows people to communicate directly. Voice and video calls, emails, pictures and instant messages travel directly from A to B, maintaining trust between individuals no matter how far apart they are. When it comes to money, people have to trust a third party to be able to complete a transaction. Blockchain technology is challenging the status quo in a radical way. By using math and cryptography, blockchain provides an open, decentralized database of any transaction involving value, money, goods, property, work, or even votes, creating a record whose authenticity can be verified by the entire community. The future global economy will move towards one of distributed property and trust, where anyone with access to the internet can get involved in blockchain-based transactions, and third-party trust organizations may no longer be necessary. The uses of blockchain technology are endless. Some expect that in less than 10 years, it will be used to collect taxes. It will make it easier for immigrants to send money back to countries where access to financial institutions is limited. Financial fraud will be significantly reduced, as every transaction will be recorded on a public and distributed ledger, which will be accessible by anyone who has an internet connection. Think of it as wills and contracts that execute themselves, or dated proof of existence for ideas, much like a patent. Blockchain will become a global, decentralized source of trust.
Well, blockchain is basically a decentralized database, completely immutable, which means you cannot modify it, change it, edit it, or delete your transaction or your data. It's like your Excel sheet. You have an Excel sheet, you put in your data, you lock it in. The other party or all the parties which are there in that current blockchain or the ecosystem can view that data, or you can even restrict the data of what that person wants to see, partly or completely, or depending how whether it's a private or a public blockchain. So blockchain is something which there was a massive euphoria. If you remember in 2016, the Gartner hype cycle showed it as an upswing coming up, and basically it then just died off because there were a lot of things involved which did not catch on with everybody. But you're seeing companies like IBM and others who are extremely very bullish on it. So whether it's for enterprises, for governments, or a simple thing as your data on Facebook, where Facebook makes the money, with blockchain, you can restrict the data which you can give out to anybody free of cost, where you can start charging now for the data. So what happens now is that you will start earning for every data which you post on your Facebook social media or some other social media, whether it could be holiday in the Bahamas or whatever you do. Now that's what the beauty of blockchain is. It makes you control your data and sell it and earn revenue. At the same time, this is also very good for everybody who's an artist, who is basically an artist who paints, or who basically who are making music or writing books. They can control that book, who they sell to, which will cut down the piracy levels and earn more revenue. And at the same time, that the fees they give out to the agents, like 8% or 10% or more maybe, will drastically just get eliminated, and they will earn that extra income. So that's the beauty of blockchain.
So how would a book work on blockchain? Explain that to me. Exactly how would that work? Where would I post the book? Where would that book be available for people to buy that I control the data?
You have to have a blockchain platform, and you set up your own. It's like a blockchain. It's like cloud as a service. You have blockchain as a service, which is already there by Amazon, Google, and everybody. So you go to Amazon as a blockchain as a service, and you tell them, I want to do. I'm basically writing a book, and I want to put it on the blockchain and sell it. Okay. Yeah. So that's what it is. It's going to be as simple as basically going up and setting up a website in the future. It's going to be very simple. The same way people do not know the nitty-gritties of coding, what's happening behind Facebook or the email cryptography. It's simple here. It's going to be very simple in the future. But a person must read about the basics of blockchain or see some videos of blockchain on YouTube or whatever and understand it. I do conduct classes for senior executives and CEOs and students. So if you feel like we can do a basically session, with the potential, who are interested to know more about blockchain.
So that's where you're busy now. You're active in the blockchain space, and you're basically teaching people how to utilize blockchain in various aspects of their business and their life. Is that correct?
Yes, I have been doing workshops for HNIs, UHNIs about blockchain and Bitcoin. I did it in Southeast Asia, in Dubai, over the last in 2017 and 2018 till the Bitcoin basically collapsed. It was all hunky and dory. Then, of course, we all had to basically slow down and cancel and delay the plans. I have also helping companies today to move to blockchain with their own use cases. So it might be a corporate who wants to do a certain thing, or it might be a startup who's got a good blockchain idea. I do help startups in terms of their strategy, business development, and marketing. Coming to blockchain, even for a person, say he's got an apartment and if you record that the entire transaction with all the details, with the government's data, which will be on the blockchain, nobody's going to be tampered with it. As you've seen mostly in Asia or South America, there have been a lot of criminal cases filed where people who are holding apartments or land parcels 20 years back, 30 years back, those documents have been forged and changed, and their land parcel has been transferred to those people, respective people. But in blockchain, it cannot be possible. So that's the beauty of it. And the main part about blockchain is that everybody who is a stakeholder, everybody who is a regulator, even the bank, who are doing the transaction and recording the transaction, maybe you're buying an apartment or land parcel, it's recorded and they are there present at the same time. So at the same time, they will say, yes, we agree, we agree, we agree. There's no hint of corruption which is going to be there. And that's the beauty of blockchain again. It's going to eradicate corruption.
Checks and balances. Effectively, it's checks and balances, so that there's always been overseen. Every transaction cannot be done, surreptitiously or behind people's. No clandestine transactions taking place. That they're all done out front, so people can see what's going on, and it's all transparent, basically.
Yeah. Very true, very true. You're exactly right. It's going to be so clandestinely tight that it's going to be difficult even for a corrupted government official to change it. And the minute that's going to happen, people will know where the problem lies, and that's what nobody wants. And even in terms of shipping documents, getting LCs, a lot of ways people have been manipulating that and cheating on that, which happened in India. So there was the diamond tier who basically did a lot of forging of documents and took a free credit, and did not pay back. He's absconding now and he's locked up in London jail. So all this is going to completely be eliminated. It's not going to be there at all. We'll not be able to do any kind of cheating. Going one step ahead, Dubai is the best city in the world and the best exemplary example, I must say, that blockchain is being adapted to the enterprise level, to the city level, the government level, and to the corporate level.
Well, the UAE, they're very forward thinking, the UAE. Well, I have to say, we both know it very well. The UAE, of all the countries I know, they're always trying to adopt new technologies, new innovations. They're very forward-thinking, the UAE, aren't they? They really are.
Yes.
They're very keen to adopt new things.
I have been for conferences in Dubai for 3 years continuously, from 2017 to say 2020, early 2020, and I have met senior leaders. I have met the heads of Ethereum who have helped them set the platform. I was very impressed. They were so forward-thinking and so futuristic that today in Dubai is going to become a major startup capital of the world. They have the IT infrastructure, tech infrastructure ready. They have, the common infrastructure, roads, everything ready. It's the best place to go and, set up your startup there. And in terms of, blockchain, the ecosystem is growing very, very fast. They do have their own startup accelerators, and they are basically helping them to, grow if the idea is very good. One of my startups, Bankchain Asset, we were chosen for a cohort, but we could not take it at that point of time because we were busy with some other cases we are looking into in India. So we have a blockchain startup called bankchainasset.com, where we are looking at basically trying to have all the stress assets and normal business assets listed on our platform. So this could be a $250 trillion opportunity for all kinds of real estate transactions which are in stress. Today, if you see, the stress assets after COVID has gone up by 10 to 25% depending on the country. And that's what we're looking to solve now in India, and then of course globally, that you list your asset, your stress asset or a normal business asset, could be a factory or your entire building or commercial mixed development, commercial development. Listed there, we'll do all what is required to have the sale done. And in terms of basically each and every country will have their own NCLT, in terms of the Indian bank.
Girish, which countries are leading in blockchain then and adoption of cryptocurrency? Because I know that China is trying to do the digital yuan, and they're coming across problems with that with WeChat, where people use the WeChat app and there's a payment system on there, and that's so widely spread across China that they're having problems with. They want to introduce this digital yuan, and of course Facebook have this Libra they want to introduce as well. So, who do you think being the forerunner in the crypto? Is it still going to be Bitcoin or Cardano or Polkadot like you mentioned, or it's going to be a mixed bag of these currencies that are going to be the favored ones in going forward?
Let's it's a very tricky question to answer in a way. Bitcoin it's basically it's a private creator who we still don't know who he is or she is, but at the same time it has caught on the adoption curve a lot, being more than 10 years. Coming to central bank digital currencies, which is going to be governed and regulated by the central bank of the respective country. China is way ahead in terms of their own CBDC, and they're already doing trials with McDonald's and basically other restaurants and other stores and all that. So they could be ahead. Going ahead, it is going to be forced by other countries to follow the CBDC. So Europe is doing that. India is looking into it now. US is looking into it. It's going to be very difficult to say that which is going to be dominating. But of course, central bank, in terms of their money supply currently today, which will basically replace all the notes which are there physically into straight away digital. And there will be not many of credit card, debit card transactions going on in the future. It will be totally contactless. And that's the main reason is why they're doing the CBDCs also, that they're able to check where people are trying to evade taxes.
So blockchain and cryptocurrency, they're here to stay. Certainly, I'd like to invite you to come to Indonesia when it's free to travel. At the moment, as we all know, travel is very difficult. And I'm sure that many people will be interested to enjoy an event which explains blockchain, because it's something that people need to understand if they want to be successful in businesses moving forward. And the cryptocurrency, certainly. I mean, I was offered Bitcoin years ago and I just said, no, it's okay. Well, that's a mistake. Anyway, You know, that's what a lot of people have done. You know, I heard that if you had Bitcoin, you put $10,000 in 10 years ago, you got 500 million today. So
yes, and somebody bought those $10,000 worth of pizza 10 years back. Think about that.
Yeah.
How bad he was feeling now?
Yeah, just that one's not going to come around again, I don't think. But I still think, where do you see the end price of Bitcoin going? You know, so we're talking another 5 years from now. Where do you see that? Because I've heard some heady speculation that Bitcoin will be at, you know, $200,000, $300,000 per coin in, you know, 3 to 5 years. Do you think that's possible?
Anything is possible now. People have compared a Bitcoin to something like an artwork of Picasso, where Bitcoin is only about 21 million Bitcoins are going to be mined till the last stage. And after that, there's going to be no more Bitcoins. So currently, there's a massive accumulation happening by everybody who can afford it and who have missed out. So the FOMO is going to continue for some more time. Yeah. So if people say that if Picasso is what 10 million or 25 million, and it's only one Picasso, and if there's 21 million Bitcoins, and currently as of now, the free float in the market of Bitcoin is not much because everybody's accumulating and the long-term investors are not going to sell out. 4 to 5% of Bitcoins are lost because people have lost the passwords, or you know they are being basically maybe in the dark web or whatever. So the supply is coming down slowly. The demand is massive. We still have a futures market in Bitcoin, which is basically controlling the speculation and keeping that in check, and the rise tremendously. But we did see $10 to $58,000 in basically a few months. So 3 years from today, 5 years from today, if it's anywhere between $350,000 to $1 million, I will not be surprised.
Oh wow!
I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised.
That's what.
So if Elon Musk now think about it. If Elon Musk has bought for his corporation, I know that he has bought for himself. Yeah. And you have Tim Draper, who I met in Bombay with one of my startups, got chosen by one of the startups to pitch, and we met in the second last round. So I know these hardcore investors who know what's happening. And recently, one of the Shark Tank promoters have started buying Bitcoin. So you are seeing this still happening. People who had built positions at $1,000, $100, or $5,000, they're still accumulating. You know, they feel that because of the dollar issue, where there's so much debt and deficit in the US economy, and you cannot keep on pumping in money all the time. You cannot just keep on printing. It's like, you know, pumping steroids to a bodybuilder. How much can a body take it? So at some point of time, it's just going to collapse.
So Bitcoin really is, you know, at the lowest level, you could say that you can use Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation, against the fall of the dollar and fiat currencies, because if that happens, Bitcoin will certainly rise in price. So that's, at the very least, it's a hedge. And
it is. It's the hedge, and at the same time, it's an insurance policy for all your assets you own. It could be in real estate. It's come to that now. Then why should I buy real estate today when I'm going to get yield of 4% to 8%? I'm happy to buy Bitcoin. That's it. Yeah, we have entered a parabolic stage.
BTC has entered its third parabolic rise in the past decade. The big picture for BTC Bitcoin is experiencing its third parabolic rise in the last decade. Parabolic progress on the arithmetic scale is extremely rare. 3 on a logarithmic scale is a historical phenomenon.
Which you're seeing now, there's nothing going to stop it. There will be sharp corrections. It's a buying opportunity, and use the similar model of buying equities, the dollar cost averaging. That's what you can do. That's the best I can say to new investors.
Thank you for watching Indonesia. PinterPolitik will shortly be opening the Pinter store, where you can find extremely interesting books, face masks and t-shirts, so please be sure to check that out. Please follow us on all the usual suspects, and I look forward to seeing you soon, Indonesia. Take care.